Hi guys, this is Dr. Daulton from Hammond Chiropractic again. I'm back with my friend Chef Karl. We're in St. Louis this weekend having a really good time. And this is the next video that we're going to be doing in our series of videos talking about vegetables. And I'm actually really excited about this one because he's going to be teaching us how to make a stuffed pepper. And this is completely vegetable based. It's incredible. But one thing that I wanted to say up front was the thing I really like about this recipe in particular is the antioxidant value of it. You know, one thing that you guys don't think about, or that we don't think about in general, especially with our eating and whatnot, is that because of different stresses in our lives and because of the way that we eat, if you're eating a lot of fried foods, a lot of processed foods, even if you're somebody who exercises on a regular basis, all of these things will produce something within our system called free radicals. And these free radicals can actually alter the cells and also your DNA, and it's been linked to causing problems such as cancer and heart disease. So the answer to that is that we have to make sure that we have lots of antioxidants in our diet, and the very best way that you can do that is by looking for really brightly colored fruits and vegetables. So you want to think about things like black cherries, blueberries, and in this case, these colorful, beautiful peppers with their yellows and their oranges and their reds. Those are the types of things that you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of in your diet that's going to help combat some of those free radicals and prevent a lot of those health problems. So I'm very excited about this recipe. So Karl, what are we actually going to be making here, and tell us, how do we do this?
So this is a completely, like you were saying, it's a vegetarian dish. And there's obviously, again, because recipes are only a guide, so if you wanted to do some modifications to this, you certainly could. But quite simply, it's a vegetable stuffed bell pepper. And just to go ahead and get the process started with this dish, you want to just par cook your pepper a little bit. Sometimes you can do that in the oven, or you could also even do them on the charcoal grill outside, different things like that. So you have an option if you wanted to experiment a little bit. So to prep your pepper, you would just slice it through top to bottom, remove the stem, remove the seeds, and then you would do a little bit of an oil rub on them. And in this case, today I went ahead and I roasted them in the oven. So I laid them out on a sheet tray, a half sheet tray with a silpat, and I just, I didn't season them because they're going to get the seasoning from the stuffing. And I just roasted them in the oven until they were tender, about 15 minutes or so. And again, if you wanted to put those on the grill and let those get a little bit of a char and some softness to that, you could go ahead and you do that as well. So once those are par cooked, and again, if you just want to pierce it with a knife or something just to make sure they were tender, you can just pull them out and let them cool just on the countertop. And then that could even be something that you do the day ahead if you wanted to, if you just wanted to do it in stages for some reason. In this case, we have the stuffing for the peppers is going to be some bell pepper itself, diced up, some onion, some zucchini, and some squash. So in this case, I was just going to, the dice is really simple. From a half a bell pepper, you could just do some slices like that, and then with your knife, just go ahead and make a dice. And remember, when you're using your knife, your non-knife hand, you want to kind of do the claw, so to speak, they say, and that's always keeping your fingertips underneath your hand, and your knuckle is actually touching the blade side of your knife. So your fingers aren't down, which would give you an opportunity to cut your fingers like this. You wanted to have your knives or your fingers curved like that. And then you're holding the food down, and I'll show you again. So I'm kind of like, I'm clawing the pepper, I'm making my slices. And then I move this out of the way because now I'm going to dice it. And again, I've got my knuckles out, and that's the part that's going to touch my blade first. So I'm always prepared, and I'm not going to cut myself. And so I'll move these out of the way. And then just to prep again quickly, the zucchini and the squash. Do a neat trim because you want to kind of eliminate any unnecessary trim because that's wasteful. And if it's too much of a far cut off the base, then you're just not utilizing all of the vegetable. And I typically cut this in half, slice it, turn it on its side, and then make maybe 2 more cuts based on the size of the zucchini or the squash. I would turn them on their edge, do another slice to kind of give me this little baton type shape piece, and then turn it to the side that way, and then that's when you can make your dice. And then you just have a nice little dice that way. And then for these edge piece, you can again slice in half, and then go ahead and cut down this piece again in half. So there's your dice of your zucchini and your squash. And then when it comes to a diced onion, I went ahead and I just cut the onion in half from stem to stem, leaving one of the ends. And then go ahead and peel off any other onion skin. But leave that one stem on there because you're going to need that to hold the onion together. So I'm trying not to make Dr. Ron cry. So now I lay this flat on my board, and I'm going to do about 2 cuts going up the side towards the end of this onion here, until the end of the stem. So I'm just going to go slowly, but I'm not going to go all the way to the end. And then I'm going to go one more level up, not the way to the end. And then I'm going to turn it facing me, and then I'm just going to go pretty much the same distances between the cuts from the front, do those going across. And again, I didn't go all the way to the end because it's still held together. And now I'm going to turn the onion again facing my blade, and now I'm just going to do my dice, which is actually going to then dice everything up. So this is a real quick and easy way to go ahead and dice your onion. And then I like to, once I get to my stem, because this is still kind of together, I like to do like another cut or 2, just because I don't want to have any waste. And then I even take my little stem here and I cut along the edges until I get to the stem, just because then all you have left is this little bit of your stem here. And you're utilizing pretty much all of your product. So once I went ahead and did all my prep, I had a couple zucchinis, a couple squashes cut. I had 1 onion diced, and then there was also the diced bell pepper. There was a whole diced red bell pepper in this. And I went ahead to my skillet and I sauteed my vegetables. So I start first with my onions because I want to get those nice and caramelized. And then I add my peppers soon thereafter because those are a little tougher. So I wanted to make sure those got cooked through. And I did a little bit of a garlic as well. And then I just did some salt and pepper. And then I sauteed that until they were getting soft. And then at the end, I just finished with like a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, just to kind of absorb some of that liquid and to give it more of a bite to and texture to the stuffing for the peppers. And then once that was sauteed, I let it cool a little bit just so it wouldn't be too hot to handle. I set my peppers, because I roasted them with the open side facing down on the tray. And then to go ahead and finish the dish, I took the peppers, put them right side up, which made the cut for us to go ahead and put our stuffing in. And so then I laid my peppers out on the tray and I filled my peppers with the sauteed mixture. And if I wanted to do this again for a later time, I could have chilled that mixture first and then put it in the peppers and then had it in the refrigerator. And then if I wanted to serve this later, I could just put this tray in the oven and warm it until it got hot all the way through. And you could finish this off any way you wanted. You could do fresh herbs with this. You could do a grating of Parmesan cheese or anything like that that you'd feel you'd like to finish it off with. And that was pretty much it. Simple recipe, again, versatile to whatever might be in season. You could put tomato in here, you could put corn in here, you could make this a Tex-Mex type of a situation, and you could do some salsa and some beans and corn. So there's just a variety of things that you can do when it comes to a stuffed pepper. You could cook off some, if you wanted to do some sauteed tofu and add that in there too, then you could get a little protein in there. Or again, if you did some bean, you could get the protein from the beans as well. You could also do some grains if you wanted to cook off some rice or some quinoa or something like that. You could add that to this mixture too and fill it in with the peppers. So lots of ideas, lots of creativity, lots of things you can try. And again, you can go any kind of direction with your spices, from mild to hot. You could do whatever you felt like doing. So
yeah, and I love it. I've of course been watching him do all of this. It looks so easy. Well, maybe it's because you're doing it. He makes it look easy. But I really think I could actually make something like this.
I believe you could.
Right? All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching our little episode here. We had a lot of fun cooking for you, and we will see you soon.
Bye.